Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 4 of the 802 Winston Cup Series here tonight at Texas. We have the Texas 210 step here tonight, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, about 140 laps here. Though right now we get ready to wrap up the end of practice. And right now, it is the 21 machine of Rob Lowell with the quick time here in practice. Nate Brooker in second, Tim Rogers third, Jim Ott fourth, and James Hislop rounds out the top 5 quickest in practice. Of course, here and now, under a minute's time, we will head over to qualifying. Going to be 2-lap qualifying. Best of your 2 laps will set tonight's 33 car starting order. So here tonight, of course, we've seen it put out for the rules. Every driver should be aware of it, but if they are not, they have to take a qualifying lap here tonight. So everyone going to have to be on their toes and get ready to throw down at least 1 lap at some times here tonight at Texas. Of course, coming into this season, man, it looked like the Josh Parker show, winning race number 1 and number 2. The last week we saw a new winner down in victory lane. He has returned. I should say he has returned to victory lane, that is, as Jim Ott scored his first win of the season, but I believe career win number 4 for the 4 car. So we'll see if either of those drivers can once again reclaim another checkered flag on the season, or if we will have a first-time winner here this season. As we get ready to rock and roll, we head down now trackside to go through tonight's qualifying event. Great to have Jeff Pogo here in the chat. And I tell you what, Jeff, we traded some paint on Thursday night. That was fun. And speaking about Thursday night, the driver that did win that, Rob Lowell, he was the quickest in practice. So that 21 machine going to try and sweep the week, at least in the Cup cars. He has a chance to do that here tonight. As why don't we say we take a look here, see what last week's winner can do here in qualifying. It is the Auto Owners Insurance number 4 of Jim Ott. Oh, I tell you what, Alan, I bet you that is a good time down there at Gateway with the Indy cars. Those boys always put on a good show there, and I tell you what, hopefully you're far enough away from that fireball, man. That is wild to see. I'm sure it feels wild in person as well. As here we go, the 4 car, Jim Ott goes on the clock here. First time lap through 1 and 2. Not quite to the bottom there. Was actually maybe a half a car length off of that first seam. So we'll have to keep an eye on, see what kind of speed that Ott can have. As here, 3 and 4, we'll see him wrap around this bottom side. And I thought it might have been the first time. Rob says maybe the second time, but a very limited amount of starts here for this league with the current configuration of Texas. That, of course, is what we have here tonight. As time's starting to roll on in right now, Tim Rogers with the quick time. Jim Ott, lap number 1 at 29.56 for the 4 machine. John Crosby able to put down a good lap, then beaten right away by Steve Ritter. 61 of Ritter able to throw down a 29.43. As Ott trouble off of turn number 4, hard into the outside wall. And I tell you what, Ott's going to have to settle with that 29.56 because that car definitely toast. As we take a look here, the fastest car in practice, the 21 machine. We'll see what Lowell can do here as he heads down the backstretch for his first time lap. Oh, I bet, yeah. I'm sure it's, shockwave even through the chest in the grandstands, on the other side of the racetrack. But yeah, I'm sure when that thing goes off, it's a big time moment. As there we go, we saw kind of in the middle of the lap, but Rob Lowell with a 29.41. That'll put him on the pole here for the time being. And that is, of course, that Rock Pirates RC here with the pole award. And right now that looks like it may go to the 21, but still quite a few cars yet to take a time. Let's take a look here at the 35 machine. This is Casey Gross, Josh Parker here, lap number 1. Only a 30.19, so we'll look at Parker, see what he can do, as it looks like he is just out there on a slow lap as well. So interesting choice. More drivers here filling into the top 5. Giovanni Espinoza up to 3rd. Anthony Calatoni in 5th. Mike Kelly in 6th as well. So here we go. Simley across the stripe. I believe that was the conclusion of lap number 2 for the 33 machine. As maybe not. I think that was conclusion lap number 1. So we'll keep an eye here on Simley, as this 33 machine always has a good amount of speed when it comes to qualifying. So lap number 1 at 29.72 for the 33, as it looks like still about 3 cars yet to take a time. Oh, it's Simley trouble through 3 and 4, and that is the issue we are going to see here tonight, as 3 and 4 is so treacherous, especially with these cars and how low they are, especially if you're trying to push the issue like we are in qualifying. So Simley going to have to settle for that 29.72. As here we go, Nate Brooker here going to try and squeeze in a lap here late. Brooker lap number 1, 29.95. That'll put him 29th of 32 cars that have taken a time. As Brooker here off of turn number 2, he was second quick in qualifying, so this 00 does have speed, able to jump up to 13th, so able to improve to a 29.58. So that will put, like I said, the 00 machine up to 13th. And I tell you what, yeah, it looks like maybe Gary Wright about to roll on to the Speedway. We'll see if that is the case. But at least on pit road here late. Same with Isaac Morales, not going to be taking a time either. We'll see what that means for those drivers. But here we go. Rob Lowell going to walk away with the Rock Pirates RC Pole Award here tonight. So congrats to the 21 on a pole award. And I tell you what, he is keeping that streak alive here on the week. Like I said, won at Michigan on Thursday night. He will be the driver leading us to the green flag here on Sunday night at Texas. So what do we say? We head down trackside and get ready to go through tonight's starting lineup. Alrighty, folks, what do we say we head down trackside and go through tonight's starting lineup? Rob Lowell in the 21 will lead the field to the green flag, and I believe that's now Rob's, I want to say, about 15th pole award, and that actually ties him for the most ever poles in the Winston Cup Series at 15 with his teammate Johnny Barker. So congrats again for Rob on that, and that is a big time accomplishment there. To his outside will be his teammate in the 61. That is Steve Ritter. Heading back to row number 2, the driver rolling off in 3rd. That is the 18 of Giovanni Espinoza. John Crosby in the 73 machine will start in 4th, and rounding out the top 5 will be the 84 and defending champion Anthony Calatoni. Mike Kelly in the 22 machine, he will start in 6th, 7th, going to the 80 of Tim Rogers. Tyler Humphrey in the 7 machine will roll off 8th. 9th will be the 6 of Johnny Barker. And rounding out the top 10, another good qualifying effort by this car 2 weeks in a row. It is the 5 of Brandon Hinton. Jim Ott here will roll off in 11th. 12th will be Tristan Penna in the 75 machine. 13th is going to Nate Brooker in the 00. Scott Drost in the 10 will start in 14th. Grant Humphrey in the 48 machine will start 15th. 16th going to Michael Wolf. Tyler Waltz will start 17th. 18th going to Todd Parent. Casey Gross will start 19th. 20th going to Frank Flores. James Hitzloff will start 21st. 22nd going to Mason Hall. Scott Simley will start 23rd. And Matthew Croak in P24. Then to get the rest of the field here, Brandon Guerin will start 25th. Sean Deal in 26th. Eli Raposa rolling off 27th. 28th is Dylan Hinn. Anthony Garland in 29th. And Arabia Caton in 30th. Chris Muse 31st. 32nd, Josh Parker. Isaac Morales 33rd. And Gary Wright will round out the field here tonight as we get ready to rock and roll. iRacing pace car down on pit road, and it's going to be Droblo leading us to the green flag as a 21 already nicely ahead. He will fire off first, and we go green flag racing here at Texas. Giovanni able to quickly get to the top side right in front of Ritter, so Ritter gonna have to try and deal with some dirty air here even on lap number 1. Maybe almost got stuck in the middle of 3 wide, but everyone going to be able to hang out for the time being. Mike Kelly, Jim Ott, almost big time contact there down the back straightaway. I saw it just out of the corner of my eye. The yellow machine cut across the track there. I don't think Kelly realized that he had a car to his inside. Almost a big moment there, like I said, on lap number 1. Out in front, though, Giovanni Espinoza wasting no time to get to the point. The 17 machine out in front here early, so he'll lead the way now over Rob Lowell. Anthony Calatoni up to P number 3. Ritter has fallen back to 4th, and it is Tim Rogers rounding out the top 5. Rogers, though, under fire for that 5th position. Johnny Barker trying to be high side and handsome there in the 6th. Barker trying to carry that momentum. Very tough to do down here in 1 and 2 because of the lack of banking. You just got to travel more distance, have to keep your foot in it. Then 3 and 4, you know, you can definitely carry more speed, but you got to be very careful right about here and then right about here on turn number 3 and 4 because it gets a little bumpy. That wall comes up very quickly, especially when you're the car on the outside here. Anthony Calatoni now trying to take over P number 2 from that 21 machine. Going to be able to get clear there off of turn number 2. So now we'll single file them out here up until the top 4. And like I said, it looks like Johnny Barker able to get on by. Now here comes the 73 of John Crosby. So Crosby able to get clear for 6th as well. A little bit deeper in the field here, still quite a few cars all under a blanket side by side battle and going throughout this field here as we see Brandon Guerin and the 81 of Anthony Garland here duking it out. This is a battle for the 22nd position, but you can see up in front of them, down behind them, a lot of cars 2 by 2 here currently. And I think once you're this deep in the field, man, it's all about trying to keep some air on the nose. And we saw a lack of air there. 81 going to pop the outside wall, a little wheelie as well for good measure. And man, Garland still out of control. Somehow keeps that car facing the right direction, but he was out of control all the way off of turn number 4 once he got the wall. And like I said, that's going to be a tough point here tonight. And it will strike here once already early on lap number 5. Trouble here for another car. That is the 35 machine of Casey Gross. He'll be slow up against the wall, and looks like Casey going to be done for the night, as well as huge right side damage for that 35 machine. Let's take a look here, see what happened to the 35 in 3 and 4. Right now, currently running on the outside of Grant Humphrey, and then the 92 of James Hislop in there as well. It looks like Gross has a great turns 1 and 2. What happens down here in 3 and 4? It looks like 35 just drives it in a little bit too deep, gets a little loose, and then Brandon Guerin into the back of the 35. That sends him shooting hard right and will end his night. It looks like Garland going to continue to stay out on the racetrack, not head down to pit road, but he's going to be in danger of going a lap down here pretty soon, as leaders already at least a half a track or so back behind the 81. Yeah, I tell you what, Jim Ott definitely in a backup car there with that moment off of turn number 4 in qualifying. But yeah, he has driven his way up into the top 10, so we'll see what I can do from here. Currently able to get around Tim Rogers, as Rogers has fallen outside of the top 10 in this 80 machine. So quite a few cars we're seeing maybe trying to save their stuff just a little bit from the start, like the likes of the 21 Rob Lowell. Rob back to P number 5, but I think kind of a little bit of his own choosing, saying, hey, you know what, once I lost that clean air, once I lost this race lead, gonna back up the pace a little bit, save my stuff, see what we can do here on the back end of this one. That could maybe be the same for the 80 of Rogers, though. Rogers still losing time to a lot of the cars around him here, so Rogers might not be liking how the race car is feeling here currently for this 80 machine. A little bit deeper in the field here, we see Tyler Humphrey side by side with Michael Wolf. Wolf up top in that white and red 20 machine, Humphrey down low in that red, white, and blue 7. As of now, it looks like Simley going to be able to drive it in there deep. Going to get to the outside of the 7 as well, as Wolf will definitely clear him. And I'll put the 20 back up to 17th here early in this one. Anthony Garland looks like going to get out of the race here tonight. Going to bring it behind the wall. So looks like now here early on in this one, about 2 cars going to be done with their evenings at the 81 and that 35 machine. Everyone else still out here on the racetrack, still out here on the lead lap, and we saw Brandon Guerin having contact here early with that 35, and you can see the damage on the nose of that one car. That splitter definitely pushed on up, that nose pushed on in, and that's going to affect the handling of that one car, especially in the dirty air, but even in clean air. Going to have some air trying to get underneath that race car. Going to lose some of that front downforce and ultimately lose some turn in that number 1. So definitely something we are going to have to keep an eye on here tonight, as already in this one, we already about a tenth of the way through, as a little bit loose there for our P number 2 runner, Anthony Calatoni. We saw the 84 go from a spin last week up to P number 2. Currently the 84 machine in P number 2 here for the time being, but yeah, I tell you what, these drivers starting to look a little bit looser and looser as this run goes on, so gonna be something we are gonna definitely keep an eye on here. And here currently everyone kind of spreading on out, no real battle for position for the time being. If there is a pass, it's usually completed in 1 lap time. Even in one corner, everyone being pretty strategic about letting other cars by. And I tell you what, seeing a lot of good racecraft out here tonight, at least in these first 15 laps. Loving what I am seeing up in the booth, as old Rob Lowell big time wide into turns 1 and 2. Definitely missed the middle, though he will stay side by side with his teammate Steve Ritter. Now has the run on Anthony Calatoni, so that 21 machine starting to search around this racetrack and may have found something there in 1 and 2 to at least try and make a move on another car here tonight. On lap number 1. Once again, that 21 machine going to head to the high side here in 1 and 2. Oh, Ritter big time sideways. A great save by the 61 as he got loose on the bottom of 2 there. Had to really catch that race car. Going to lose quite a few spots because of it, but can live to race another day. Oh, that is close off of turn number 4. Calatoni getting loose right across the nose of Rob Lowell, and I actually heard Rob Lowell kind of apologize for that one, so not sure if the 21 maybe pushed some air up on the 84, or the 84 maybe wasn't expecting the 21 to be right as close as he was, but that time Calatoni gonna let him go on by now. The 21 setting up the 18 here. This is a battle now for second. Now, while all that was going on, I failed to even realize different race leader out here in this one. Johnny Barker in the 6, currently leading the way here. So Barker, I tell you what, I think it was towards the end of the season last season, the 6 car able to pick up a win on what was the Friday night series. Johnny Barker is still looking for a Sunday night win, and I tell you what, he would be so pumped up to finally get it done, as it seems like he's had a little bit of a curse on that 6 for, I want to say, the past, 10, 15 weeks. It seems like he cannot catch a break, but here tonight, Johnny Barker out in front, still with 120 to go, but hey, to be out in front, always a good feeling, always a good sign, as we see another car continue to make his way towards the front. That is Tristan Penna here in the 75. Penna able to get around Calatoni, now going to get to the outside of this 21 machine. Man, I tell you what, this 75 absolutely flying right now. Last time by at least a 10th, if not a 10th and a half better from the 75 on that lap here. This last time by, he will be even with the cars out in front of him. But yeah, 75 starting to find some speed out here in the racetrack and looking very, very sporty for the time being. As right in front of him, we get a battle for the race lead. Johnny Barker and Espinoza here side by side, the 6 and the 18 gonna be dead even. Give the advantage to the 18, able to get on the throttle, put the power down a little bit sooner. Now here comes the 75 with a big run up top. I believe this is the first ever start for the 75 machine, so we've seen it quite a few times here on the Sunday night series that a driver will jump on and win their first ever start. Here tonight, that is Penna here in the 75 machine, looking very sporty as this run continues to go on, as he tries to now hunt down our race leader. Throughout the rest of the field here, everyone kind of running their own pace for the time being. No other battles out here on the Speedway. A few cars getting ready to do battle here are these 3 cars, almost 3 wide there off of turn number 2, gonna bring it back down to 2. And Josh Parker, after a tough race last week at Kansas, he actually lost the race lead, the championship lead to Chris Muse. Muse was able to jump up 2 spots. He will come in with the points lead here tonight, though Muse finds himself all the way back in P number 30. Oh, the biggest mover when it came to the points at the conclusion of last week. That was the winner in the 4 car. Jim Ott able to jump up 11 spots all the way to P number 4 points, and within 14 points of Muse. And right now, definitely covering that deficit, as Ott currently running in this 8th position. Muse, like I said, still back in about up to now 29. As one car, bit of a moment there off of turn number 4. That was the 87 machine of Matthew Croak. Croak able to save that race car, not get any damage, so good news for that. Though he has definitely found the limit there off of turn number 4, as he got big time sideways. So we see here Simley continue to make his way up towards the front. Same with Michael Wolf and Josh Parker. Like I said, Parker now up to P number 16. and that puts him plus 16, biggest mover of the race so far. And speaking about movers up of the race, Tristan Penna out in front, new race leader, the 75, leading his first ever laps here with the 802 iRacing League. Drivers really starting to search around here in turns 1 and 2. We see our race leader going up to that top side, not quite to the dark where there's no grip, but definitely to this cleaned off kind of lighter stuff for this 75 machine. So he is definitely finding speed up there. Once again, Anthony Calatoni able to get back by Rob Lowell, though Lowell has re-caught this 84. Here comes now Rob to the inside. Calatoni gonna try and wind it on up in that top lane. Those two gonna go side by side down the back straightaway, and you can see just how big of a run you can get from that top side as Calatoni goes from almost pretty much behind Lowell to all the way in front, clear the other direction. So, man, that goes to show if you can nail turns 1 and 2, man, are you absolutely flying out here on some older tires. As Lowell able to complete the pass right there here, 3 wide down the back straightaway. Espinoza contact with Ritter. Jimot in there as well, and Ritter gonna make hard contact with that outside wall. 61 just trying to hang on to that race car after it got a little sideways there with contact, but you can see the damage on the 61. Gonna be a lot of damage there on the right front. Nate Burker up here inside the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Like I said, he was second quick in practice, so this 00. Another car, it seems like, especially this season, Burker has been really good on pace, just hasn't gotten the results that this 00 has needed as, Jim out right in front of him, almost in the wall, almost losing the back end, all in the same corner. And that is definitely the tricky spot of turn number 4. As we see here, Tyler Waltz getting around Steve Ritter, same with Scott Droz. So yeah, Ritter dropping like a rock with that damage on the 61 machine. And that's going to be a tough break for him, as Ritter last week able to have a top 5 finish here tonight. That top 5 going to take some work from here on out. Out in front though, battle for the race lead once again as Johnny Barker now looking to the inside of the 75. 75 going to get a little piece of the wall there, but able to carry his momentum, going to be able to hang on to that race lead. And it might get pretty racy here as Rob Lowe and Anthony Calatoni just outside of that kind of draft from those lead cars. And don't look now, Mike Kelly, he has been on a bit of a cold streak, not like the 22 machine. He would love to get it righted. That could come here tonight as Mike Kelly up into 5th. John Crosby still hanging on to 6th. And still this battle here. Tim Rogers now to the inside of Nate Brooker. So here comes Rogers. Took it very easy at the start of this one. May we see this 80 start to march back up through this field. Trying to get around the 00 here for 9. Like I said before, folks, 32 cars still out here on the racing surface. 32 cars still out here on the lead lap. As we continue to see the 26 and the 92 continue to work their way up through this field. They are trying to now get 12th from the 10 machine of Drost. Josh Parker will go to the inside here in turns 1 and 2. The 10 car Drost going to try and build up that momentum there in that kind of 4th lane, let's say, if we're counting lanes at 1 and 2. Drost will hang on to it for the time being. Now we look a little bit just behind them here as Simley working around Michael Wolf right in front of them. The 5 car of Brandon Hinton sits, as well as the 61 of Steve Ritter. So a lot of cars right here, all under a blanket. Another good battle here is this gaggle of cars from Brandon Guerin all on back. Remember, the 1 car Guerin having some front end damage. That car definitely not turning well at this point in the race with these old tires and that nose damage. As here we go, Christopher Muse gonna try and get on around this pack, but yeah, we can see right here a lot of cars. Those contact though, as Muse and Guerin gonna continue to trade pain. Oh man, there is big time trouble, and that is off of turn number 2. And look at this, Rob Lowe involved, Anthony Calatoni gonna get a piece, as same with Mike Kelly. So man, Kelly's luck not gonna turn around here tonight, as it looks like this 22 machine gonna be done for the evening. Man, 3 of the strongest looking cars gonna be out of this one before lap 40. As here we go, let's take a look, see what happened off of turn number 2, as it looks like Anthony Calatoni big time sideways, losing that back end. We saw him a few times before lose that back end. Then man, Rob Lowe had nowhere to go. Big time hits for both those cars. Both rear tires coming off the racing surface, and Mike Kelly just trying to guess where the cars were not going to be, and that's where he's going to collect the 84 with that left front quarter panel. And it looks like everyone else just going to be able to squeak on by from that. So 3 cars involved in this first caution, and 3 very fast cars at that, as it starts with the 84 getting loose. And here we go, it's going to be busy down on pit road. A lot of drivers saying, get these tires off this race car. I'm ready for 4 fresh Goodyears. As here we go, Tristan Penna going to lead the field down to pit road, as we will see full service here from everyone in this field. Like I said, going to be quite a few cars out of this one. All 3 cars involved in that incident going to be done for this evening, as we will keep an eye here at the end of pit road, see who will win the race off of pit road. And it looks like it's going to be John Crosby with a great pit stop. The 73 going to lead the way off of pit road, then Tristan Penna, Johnny Barker, Jim Ott, and Nate Brooker going to be the new top 5, that is, here on the first restart of the evening. So with the cars done and out of the race here currently, that will leave about 29 cars here still on the lead lap and still out in the race here. As here we go at the start finish line, we should get the lights to get extinguished on the iRacing pace car. Looks like John Crosby going to choose the inside lane here for the first restart of the night. Like I said, going to look a little different inside this top 5, but the real car we got to keep an eye on, Josh Parker, will restart on the outside of row number 3. So heads up to the rest of the field here. Parker already within striking distance with this first restart of the night. He will start in that 6th position as well. Alrighty, folks, here we go. We get ready for our first restart of the evening. John Crosby in that 73 machine going to be in control. Can go anytime inside this restart zone. iRacing pace car will make the left-hand turn here down pit road, and here we go. John Crosby going to go early in the box, get a great start out in front as we head back to green flag racing. Quickly going to try and get down on the bottom side of this racetrack. Right behind them, they will fan on out, almost 3 wide for the time being. It looks like once again Tristan Penna going to take it easy on this start, going to take care of those tires, and looks like going to let quite a few cars on around him. But out in front here, John Crosby going to lead the way here over Johnny Barker and Jim Ott, still side by side for that 4th position. Though right there in the wings, Josh Parker, Tim Rogers, all ready to get in the mix as well. Deeper in the field, cars still side by side here. Eli Raposa right now trying to work over the 14 machine of Mason Hall. Raposa down low, Hall up top. And right now it looks like that 46 machine of Raposa going to be able to get that pass done there. As it looks like Tristan Penna starting to get the momentum back rolling in the 75 machine. Did not let Brooker by, and looks like the 75 going to try and go back on the offense here. So top 10 for the most part, going to single file out here pretty early on this restart. So everyone kind of knowing what they have for a race car, trying to really keep the right pace here and see who will be around here later in this run. As here we go, side by side battle, and Josh Parker trying to get around Nate Brooker as well as Tristan Penna around Jim Ott for 3rd. So 75 machine, like I said, took it easy there on the opening lap, has since started to turn it on up, and it looks like Rob Lowell out of the infield care center. Gonna get a word here with the driver of that 21 machine. Rob, do you got a copy? It's Brett Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, how's it going?
Man, it's going pretty good up here. I tell you what, some great racing, and it looked like for the most part you were seeing that as well,
Really?
until all of a sudden a car right there in front of you. What'd you see in that incident, Rob?
Yeah, I ate Calantoni's, I don't know, right side, I guess. I thought I saw him get loose, and I thought he was just in the spin of the bottom, and then all of a sudden in my left monitor I see this blue and white blur coming up, and yeah, that ended the night.
Yeah, that it did, and yeah, you had no time to react. Probably didn't even realize there was a car coming to you until, like you said, he was probably in your lap there, just a blur all of a sudden, and then whammo.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I passed him a couple times, and I passed him early. I went around the top, and I yelled at myself. I said, "Get off this top! It's just going to cheese grate the tires." It's okay to go up there for a lap or two, but you can't run up there for lap after lap after lap. So I went back to the bottom and gave up some time to him and Tristan. Johnny did the same thing. Johnny jumped to the top, got a couple cars, and then him and I were just working on wrapping that bottom there. It's Texas. You can make time. Once the bottom lane rubber's in, you can make time up top, but it just kills the tires. So I got by Anthony, and I'd run down Pena and Johnny, and I got under Johnny off down in 1 and 2. I was really working on just wrapping that bottom nice and easy, and I came up probably half a car length, and Johnny was driving down off the bank because he had Pena outside of him, and we just kind of met in the middle, and luckily Johnny saved it there, and that broke our momentum, and Anthony got back by me, and I knew when I passed Anthony just before that he was really getting loose off the corner, and I kind of wanted to get by him for that reason. Then he got back by me, and I don't think I helped his looseness. I drove in kind of underneath him, and then when he started to come back down, I drove across his back bumper. I never touched him. I was like half a car length back, but I was trying to drive straight through his wake, so I wasn't pissing off the front tires with dirty air. And that, I think, probably packed some air in them and it got them even looser. So, not Anthony's fault. It's just the byproduct of these cars and dirty air. If someone is within half the car length of your back bumper, it can pack air and get you even looser. So, I should have realized that and probably backed off a little bit and gone about past them a different way. So, just one of those things. I had a fast car at Atlanta, got wrecked out, making a pass on a guy, and tonight here, once again, no bad luck of my own, just out of the race. But hey, we had a good night Thursday night in the Elite Series, so I'm not mad about the weekend. I'm not upset. I had a good car here tonight. I usually suck here, so we'll get ready to go to wherever we are next week. I'm not sure where that is.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it was looking pretty promising there for a second for you to maybe sweep the kind of, let's say, cup cars with the 802 iRacing League. Of course, like you mentioned, picking up the win at Michigan to kick off the series, that had to be a pretty awesome race. And man, it looked like a lot of fun. I had some fun there too, slicing and dicing with all you boys. But yeah, a great win by you there on Thursday, and was looking pretty promising here tonight. Got the pole and was up towards that front there all night long for when you're out on track, right?
Yeah, and the my 5-lap average there on my race labs at that point, before John and I got together, although the last 5 laps I was 0.2 a lap faster than the 2 leaders, and everyone behind me was in the green too. So at least the top 14 cars there that were shown in race labs, I was faster than all of them. So yeah, I'm happy. Never be happy wrecked out, but hey, I think I've got the wheelbase and my pedals and stuff figured out, and I've got some speed right now, and we go to Charlotte next week. So I was really fast in the Elite Series at Charlotte, so I'm looking forward to going there next week for 140 laps, and we'll see if we can get the pole there next week.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I gotta ask you, tonight's pole, I don't know if you realize, but ties you with Johnny Barker, your teammate, and also ties you for the most ever poles on the Sunday Night Cup Series.
Yeah, Johnny and I have been around a minute in this league, so I knew we were within a couple of each other. I didn't know that tied us, and honestly, I felt pretty good. Steve and I there got the front row. Steve found some of his wheelbase this afternoon that since he's got it hasn't been right, and I would look for Steve Ritter to be back to his usual form going forward. He gained about 0.4 on what he'd been running here previous to that fine. So yeah, the Wolfpack is going to keep working on it, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and right now your teammate Johnny Barker, he's looking very sporty here tonight. Hopefully he has a little bit of lady luck. I was mentioning early in this broadcast, man, it seems like now 10 plus weeks his 6 car just can't buy a break, but here tonight has ran all night long within the top 5 and mostly the top 3 as well.
Yeah, and Johnny was he ran another series early in the spring here at Texas, and he just dominated that race. So I expected Johnny to be good here, and yeah, I just want either Johnny or Steve or Eli to bring home this win tonight. Maybe we can get a Wolfpack sweep of the weekend.
Yeah, that would definitely be pretty cool. And one thing I got to mention, we saw Calatoni get loose. Is that something we can expect here from this bottom side, especially as the run goes on, is starting to lose grip in those rear tires? Because we've seen quite a few cars already get a little loose off of turn number 2 especially.
Yeah, if you aren't really taking it easy getting into one and have your brake settings just right, it's really easy to get loose. If you upset the car in entry, get it slide on entry, that just makes it 10 times worse middle out. That hump get into one, you've run here, Brad. It upsets the car getting in no matter what. So you got to drive across that straight, and then you got to get on your brake and slow the car down, and you really got to just feather that throttle middle out. And I wasn't full throttle till I was back on the straightaway, and then I try to drive it straight to the wall coming off the corner instead of trying to like keep it turning left down the straightaway to like kind of arc it out on the straightaway. I literally almost drive it straight at the wall on exit, just to keep the front tires happy and keep the car going straight instead of naturally wanting to get loose because the front tires bite on you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And Rob, we appreciate the insight there for this tricky place, because like I was mentioning earlier, and I think you were correct, second time ever this league kind of visiting the new configuration of Texas. So everyone had to dig into their notebook a little bit, try and figure out this place. And I'm sure a lot of us still learning each lap as here we go. Oh, just as I was going to say, we were battling for the race lead. We get our second caution of the evening.
Yeah, and I don't even know what caused it there. I was watching in Geo battle there, so I'm not sure what brought that out.
Yeah, it looks like contact between the 44 Sean Deal and Brandon Guerin, both of them going to make very hard contact to that outside wall through the tri-oval. Brandon Guerin almost going up and over in the one machine. And then, yeah, it looks like, not sure if they had contact before, but for sure Deal going to get the outside wall and then come back down and get the one car as well. We'll try and rewind it a little bit further, see if there is contact before. Yeah, it looks like Brandon Guerin just washes up a little bit. That changes the trajectory for the 44. Going to get the wall, and then both of them going to be done for the evening with another wreck with some hard hits.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Brandon's one of the guys that I expected to work his way to the front as this race went on. I know he ran here in Sim 500 Monday Night Cup League, and I think he got a top 5, or maybe it was 6. But yeah, unfortunate there. Brandon's definitely one of the guys that I figured would be here, in the last 50 laps.
Yeah, so the first caution, came out around lap 40, no brainer in tires. Here with this one, 25 laps. Do you use a set here, or do you stay on out?
If it's me, I'm staying out here, and you can see my teammate Johnny Parker. Same idea here. I think he's playing the long game. He doesn't want to burn a second set before halfway. We only got, those guys are going to go take tires now. Only got one more set. So if you run another 30, 40 laps and get a caution, around like lap 90, then you're guaranteed to have to go 50 laps in that set of tires. I don't see this going caution free from here on out. So I think we'll just see Barker, Simley. You got Mason Hall there. Josh Parker, I think, stayed out, right? No, Josh Parker picked. So only 4 cars stayed out. Yeah, I think these guys, they're going to give up some track position here. These guys are going to get blown by. But if you get a caution 25 laps from now, these guys are going to come in and get a set of tires. They're going to get back to the field. And then if they get a 30, 40 lap run, they'll be able to get back to the front. And then you get a caution after lap 100, they'll go get more tires. So I would give up. You got track position here on the restart. You're going to give it up once you go back green. And I think with the way we're getting cautions, you're in a good spot if you have 2 sets of tires still in the pits right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because, longest run we've seen so far here tonight was at lap 35. Saw a lot of cars getting a little bit squirrely, so should be interesting to see from here, Rob. And yeah, I think, restart number 1, we saw a leader pick the bottom. You think that's what your teammate's going to do here at the stripe?
Yeah, I think Johnny will. He's going to have the benefit of being able to fire off first, and he's got a known entity in Scott Simley behind him. Mason Hall, he shows on the ticker probably as Orman Hall, but he goes by Mason. Mason, we really don't know a whole lot about him, so if I'm Johnny, I'm gonna pick the guy that I have behind me that I know and know how he races, and that'd be Scott Simley. So I think Johnny will get clear at Nate here, and then he'll get through 1 and 2, and then clear up off, probably down and off turn 2, and by then you're gonna have Grant and Gio starting to push pretty hard here on them fresh tires.
Gotcha. And I'll be the one to ask kind of the dumb question. Can you make it on fuel to the end from here on out? Still over 75 laps to go, but how close would it be for if this race were to go green for maybe a splash and go, or how close are we looking here?
I'm going to sound really stupid. I never even looked to see what fuel mileage was here. I have no idea when you go on a full tank. So That's how worried I was about getting a long green flag around for full fuel. I hadn't even looked at that. So, you thought you were asking the dumb question, but I just gave you the really dumb answer that I was out in the race and I have no idea how far you can go.
Yeah, I forgot to do my research as well to take a look here, but here we go. The iRacing pace car heads down to pit road, and it's going to be Johnny Barker, Nate Brooker on the front row, as Barker going to be in control, going to go kind of later in the box, but man, a great start by the 6 as he'll be by himself into turn number 1.
Yeah, and Johnny's so good at changing up his restarts. He will not fire the same place, 2 restarts in a row. Nate expected him to go early in the box. Nate kind of got on the loud pedal there and got a little bit of a jump, and he had to jump out of it. And once Johnny heard him jump out of it, then Johnny, fired off. And I think right here you're going to see Johnny's guy up front here, but those new tires are going to be coming quick. I'd expect to see the 75 driver around the outside of him here and I'd say in about another lap and a half.
Yeah, already some cars on new tires coming on through. And how patient are you with these new tires? Because we can still have aero affect these cars, both slowing you down, blocking you. I mean, it's got to be very tough behind the wheel, because you're like, man, I got to go with these new tires, but I also got to make them last, right?
Yeah, I would be very careful with them, because on the original start, I fell back to 4th or 5th there, and that was just not wanting to abuse them right off the bat. There's a lot of fall off here. I mean, it doesn't look it because Johnny's tire is cool. He's at 29.8 right now. And actually, Pena's at 29.9. This is kind of what we saw Thursday night, right? Your tires cool down. You could be fast for 5-6 laps at Michigan. Here, I'd expect about the same. And then as the tires heat up, those new tires are going to come through. But the thing about new tires here, with this tire model, if you slide them a couple times when they are new, you get them hot, and they are extremely hard to cool down. So you don't want to slide your front tires, and then you lose all your turn in your car. Actually, Johnny's maintaining speed here faster than I thought he would.
I was going to say, yeah, I tell you what, Johnny Barker looking very good here. That has to kind of go with that clean air, right? Even on those older tires, he has that clean air. That thing's probably working pretty nice for Johnny, right?
Yeah, and he's got clean air, and he was up front, and you got one car ahead of you, you can still be in clean air most of the time. So Johnny's probably done a good job of saving the front tires here, especially because you're trying to save your right rear so much. I mean, Johnny just turned a 30.2 there. Tim Rogers, is up to second. He was a 30.0. But you look at Pena is a 30.4 on new tires. And then you look at Humphreys, a 30.2. Booker's on is on old tires. I'm looking at Gio on new tires is a 30.28. So Johnny's a 30.20 on old tires. Tim's coming at a tenth and a half faster. Tim's going to eat him up here probably, but the guys back there just don't have this. I don't see the speed from him yet to do anything. So here comes Tim driving inside of him now.
Yeah, Rogers a little bit loose there off of turn number 2, though. We'll have the momentum as one car into the inside wall. I think that was Michael Wolf there in the 20 machine as we stay under the green flag condition there, wrecking off the racing surface, so no caution with iRacing. As we get more trouble, though, we'll probably get one now. Yes, we do. So quite a few cars involved with that one, but may have started with the 20 machine. Probably going to be the end of the night for him as few tires facing the right direction, but I think that might have started with... Oh, there's Brandon Hinn kind of very slow as well. Not sure what happened to Hinn, but we'll go back a little bit further, see what happened off of turn number 2 here. Yeah,
we had the car slowed, and then the big wreck getting the 55, 60, and 87. Josh Parker goes down on the apron to avoid it, and then just kind of bonsais it back up the track. Ping Paul's up to the 55, and destroys 3 cars there.
Oh man, and yeah, Josh Parker losing the race lead or championship lead, excuse me, coming into tonight, and looks like gonna have another kind of not so great night. As yeah, I think it started with Brandon Hinton after he made contact with the 23 wide gone wrong. He was kind of in the racing lane, and everyone just trying to avoid him. And you said it was Josh Parker that got some damage as well.
Yeah, if you go and click on Josh and watch him, he actually checks up for the wreck. Some guys get by him, then they get down into 3 and start checking up, and Josh just comes in and from the apron up on into the 55.
Yeah, that he does there, and that's what the incident then is caused by the caution. So, yeah, first couple incidents, 3 cars or less. This one definitely going to have, almost 10 or so cars with some sort of damage now in this one. And it looks like with this caution coming out when it did, Johnny Barker going to elect to stay on out, say, hey, it wasn't enough laps for these new tires to be super big of an advantage, it seems like.
Yeah, and if Barker goes in there, he's throwing away. I think he's just marring himself in a hole he can't ever get out of. There's only, 5-6 laps difference? Well, I guess it's 10. They fit at 63, he'd be fitting at 73. But 10 laps, when he does take his second set versus them, he's not going to have a big advantage on him. So I think Johnny would like to see this go another 15, 20 laps, maybe get to 90. And then he would come in and get his second set. And I really don't see a lot of guys that already took their second set be willing to take a set at 90. And if they do, and we get a caution at 120, they're in trouble. So Barker, I don't expect to see him. If we get a caution at 85 maybe, but I don't expect to see him come in before that. If he does, he's throwing away the advantage of having that extra set.
Yeah, that it would be. And I assume once it gets to lap 90, you're definitely good on fuel, at least with this being a 1.5 mile track. It seems like most times than not, 50 laps, it seems like is always doable, let's say.
Oh, absolutely. And Brad, I think one thing that we can tell the viewers is this track used to be one lane right around the bottom. And back, I want to say, was it I would have been this new build, so been 13 weeks ago, right?
Yep.
When they really changed the dynamic track, and the rubber lays down and how the rubber affects your tires on the track changed. That's what's made this track viable. So when the track's completely the same color, whitish gray, top to bottom, it's still bottom dominant. But around lap 20 there of the race, when that bottom started rubber in, that's when you saw Barker and I jump to the top into that light gray. There was more grip up there. Now the trade-off is, like I said, there's more grip up there, but the track's rougher, so you wear the tires more. So go up there for a lap or two, get a pass made, and then get back down on the bottom. But the dynamic track is what has brought new Texas really racy on the iRacing platform. It saved this track. This is a track that we used to avoid. We used to run Legacy Texas instead of running here because it was one lane dominant, and now you can race here. So.
Yeah, it definitely is the case, as we saw a lot of cars go up to that top side like we saw with you, Rob, and really make up some time. But here we go, restart number 3 underway. Tim Rogers fires off with those new tires, gets himself a great jump over the rest of the field. Everyone else going to be 2 by 2 heading into turn number 1.
Yeah, and this is where I'd expect Johnny to get clear into third here. He should get the run on Booker. But this is where I think those older tires are gonna fade a little bit.
Yeah, as we see deeper in the field, everyone fanning out 3 wide or so, quickly back down to the 2 wide, let's say, for the most part. As here we go, Tristan gonna look to the outside of Simley, 3 wide there. They will make that work. Now here comes Josh Parker as well. He's not lifting either.
No, he's on the outside of Caton there. Caton gets into him a little bit. You got Grant Humphreys wrapping the bottom down there. I like what I'm seeing from that 48, wrapping that bottom. He is saving tires doing that. That's what you want to see for long run speed.
Yeah, and he was one of those drivers that did take some tires under that second caution there, so only 1 set left for the 48, so going to really try and take care of those. John Crosby, he led some laps here tonight. Crosby now up to P number 3 once again. as more cars continue to try and make their way towards the front. And an interesting one here, Jim Ott actually came down pit road another time, I think try and get some of that nose damage repair. Ott once again back now, trying to get back inside the top 5 as that 4 car is still looking sporty, even with maybe a little nose damage.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Ott has finally gotten back up into the top 5 there. I think he was up like 6th or 7th early before he had that little bit of adversity he had and got some damage. But look for him to keep marching here. He's really good at long run speed and saving tires. So I'm a little shocked he's running outside as much as he is here. But he's probably trying to get spots while he can.
Yeah, I tell you what, even with dirty air, Johnny Barker still hanging on to that P3 spot for that time being. So Johnny doing a great job. And hey, maybe as this track continues to wear, might take away a little bit of that tire wear, might make these older tires still a little bit viable. As I think Barker's showing that off. If you take care of your stuff, hey, you can make them last a good bit longer and keep speed with it. I think that's kind of the big X factor, right?
Yeah, just don't upset them. I think right here, we're 6 laps in on this restart here, and now you're starting to see the tire temps come back up from him. The tires have cooled down on the yellow. And this is where I think he'll start bleeding some spots. But I think he'll probably bleed, looking at his lap times, he might bleed back like 8th or probably around 8th, 7th, 8th when it's all said and done. But he's still looking at about a 10th and a half faster than the guys 9th back. So I would expect to see it kind of stabilize here. Another couple cars get by him.
Yeah, out in front, Tim Rogers, John Crosby trading the race lead back and forth between those two. So Rogers out in front, always good to see him back, and looking pretty sporty here in these next gens. Same with John Crosby. I tell you what, that 73 looking, it seems like we mentioned him at least once in these first 4 races, sometime inside the top 10, and it seems like almost some point within the top 5 at some point in the night.
Yeah, Tim is a good, smart competitor. He's had some bad luck when he's raced with us, but it's not lack of speed or lack of talent. It's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The guy that I really like what I'm seeing out of right now is that 4 of Ott. I'm watching his lap times. He's keeping right around a 30.2. That's kind of the lap time I was shooting for there. Once we got 4 or 5 laps into a run, I was just trying to go fast enough to hold position and wait for the guys ahead of me to fall off. So I like that line he's taking into 3. He's taking that middle arc in and then driving down to the bottom. Everything he's doing there is just trying to minimize that input to the front tires. And when you save the front tires on entry, that's even better for the right rear, because the more front wheel you put into it on entry, the more chance you are that all of a sudden the front end's going to turn on you, and then the rear is going to snap on you. So, he's consistently turning 2.0 to 2.5. A 30.20 to 30.25, and look at this. The leaders were turning 30.0s. They're back down to 30.2s now. And I think what you'll see is I think Jim will be able to maintain this 30.2 longer than the 3 cars ahead of him.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case here. And yeah, like you said, Jim out running some really good laps. Still a little bit of battle in here for the race lead as they will go side by side for a split second. Also, Rob, we got a driver involved in your incident, Mike Kelly. He's clear from the care center. What do you say we bring him in to have a little 3-way conversation?
Yeah, bring Mike in.
All right, Mike Kelly, we got you up in the booth as well. Mike, man, it seems like you cannot buy some luck here the past couple weeks. Tell us what you saw there.
Yeah, I've had some bad luck in the 802 series. Leagues the last couple weeks got killed, had a bad start Thursday and got killed in that race by basically the same kind of thing. So guys just aren't keeping control of their cars, and I'm paying the price for it.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there, Mike. Anthony gets loose there, collects me, and I haven't watched it, but I assume you had nowhere to go and you collected one of us there.
Yeah, I was trying to slow down driving into it, and you spun down off the track, and Anthony just got, not once you're crashing, like this isn't any judgment on Anthony's skill, but he got completely sideways pretty much filled the hole that was above you, and there was a little hole between him and the wall, and I tried to hit it, and I don't think there was room anyway, but he released his brakes to try to let the car roll back and spin around right as I tried to fill the hole, and he just pinched it against the wall and killed the car.
Yeah, and I was telling Brett, Johnny and I got together there. I moved up, probably half a car width, and Johnny was driving down. We were 3 wide. That broke our momentum, let Anthony get back by me. I had seen Anthony getting loose before that. And then I probably screwed up. I drove in, and Anthony kind of came down to, close off the bottom on me. So I just straightened the wheel and drove up to the outside of him. And I was half car length back, and I'm sure when, even though I was half car length behind him, as you know, Mike, that still packs air on the guy. So I'm sure that didn't help Anthony's loose condition. And
no, your move is totally what spun him out for sure.
Yeah.
If you just going off the replay, I watched the replay. When you came up like you described there, because he was kind of starting to get loose, as you came up the track, his rear end just went right with you, and you disconnected from it, and he was trying to save it, and you disconnected from it, and he just went that kind of when the left rear just kind of does that donk back to the left, and then you're dead.
Yeah, these cars are so, you wouldn't think being half a car with length back would pack air, and it does. If I had stayed right behind him, I'm still going to pack air on him. So that was one of those deals where we were screwed no matter what happened there. It was written before we even got to that point.
The end of my race was in the books right there for sure. The same thing was happening today too. I was calling it. It's like a boat wake. If you've ever skied, you come out of that wake and you just have that moment of when you come over that wake, and that's the point where it's just pulling those cars around, and it's hard. I would say if you're not ready for it, but I think even if you're ready for it, it's really hard to overcome.
Yeah, Anthony was already loose. He got loose a couple laps before that, 2 or 3 times. He'd gotten loose off of 4. And I was telling Brett, I feel like you have to fix that loose condition. You have to spend more time making sure you don't slide your front tires, so you don't have to have more wheel in it. Most times those guys are snapping loose. It's because they got so much wheel in it because they're pushing. That once the front wheels bite, it just snaps on them.
Yeah, it's once at that point, if you got to be really careful. It's almost subconscious to not let. If your car's getting tight, you don't want to give it that extra tug to the left, because that's what you might get away with it 99 times out of 100. But if it decides at that point that it's going to break loose, you have no chance of recovery, because the wheels are just turned too far to the left. But I am enjoying this race coming up here. We got some guys moving to the front, and 2 of them are my teammates.
Yeah, and yeah, and Brett, like we're talking, look where Johnny Barker stabilized. He's back there at 9th place. He's got tires that got 60 some odd laps on them. He's turning at 30.6. Crosby and Walls are turning 30.7s right now. Jim Ott, who I said I liked how he was playing it. He was riding around there. He's 3rd running the 30.5, and Josh Parker, who's also just kind of hitting those 2s and 3s early in the race while the leaders are turning 0s. These guys are maintaining speed as the leaders start to bleed it. So just goes, you can't go and go hard off the rip. You got to kind of save your stuff early, because once you heat those front tires up, you're going to kill yourself. And here comes Parker on Ott now. So right now Parker's, if I'm looking at the last 5 lap average, and Josh is the last 5 lap average is a 30.52, and the next best is Tyler Walls at a 58. So well, Simley's a 5.0 for the last 5 laps. So Simley and Parker right now are the 2 fastest guys in the last 5 laps.
Yeah, and I tell you what, 7-car breakaway 2 out in front, that's also kind of noteworthy, because they're all in the draft getting one another's dirty wake, as well as that draft to kind of help pull them closer too. So I tell you what, great racing up towards the front here.
Yeah, and Ott and Parker are in a little bit of a purse fight here. They're not doing themselves any favor. They need to figure this out, and one of them needs to let the other one go, because they're abusing their tires a lot more than those 2 leaders are. And already I'm looking, the leaders are turning 55 and a 60 last lap, and Jim and Josh are turning 6s and 7s. Ott gets loose there, so there you go.
Yep, he got loose. It's tough pitching it down, coming up off 2 there with a guy to your outside is really tough.
Yeah, I got big time loose, and now your teammate Mike, Scott Simley in the back end of this knows he has to get around these cars, but also, hey, you gotta still take care of your stuff, still think about the long run. I mean, what do you do in this situation? Just kind of like we saw with that, just wait for that guy to make a big mistake, let's say?
Yeah, the patience of Scott is unbelievable, and Josh too, actually. So they're the guys with the freshest tires up front, and not just because they're my teammates, but these guys are both really good on long runs, and they're going to be tough. They're going to be up there battling for the win if this race goes green for sure.
Yeah, and I would say right now Barker's in trouble. He needed that caution between 85 and 100, so he could come in and get that second set and have an advantage. We're at the point now where if the yellow comes out, everyone's going to go get tires, and Johnny's going to be mired back there where he doesn't want to be. So he's in 12th right now. Yeah, I would say Johnny's in trouble here.
Yeah, here comes down Josh Parker trying to get P number 2 from Tyler Waltz. And how about Waltz, man? Another good run. Every now and then, it seems like this 9 can catch him really, really good speed here at Texas, trying to do just that, trying to hold off Josh Parker for second.
Yeah, Tyler's been fast when he races with us. He's missed some races, but he's been really fast. And then I think another driver we need to get a shout out to, who's had a very quiet night, but he's marched his way in the top 10. That's Eli Raposa. Eli's put a lot of work in the last couple months on really figuring this car out, and here he is again. He's up inside the top 10 with less than 40 laps to go.
Yeah, that he is, and up 17 spots, let's make it, from where he started. So that's always a good sign too, up 15 plus spots from where he started. That's usually a sign of a pretty good night. Yeah, Mike, we head to maybe one of your favorite racetracks. Next week we have Charlotte. How are you feeling about that? What can you do to maybe bring some luck to that 22 as well, right?
Well, I've been running good at Charlotte in the Cup car. I've had a couple races there and ran well, so just got to get the luck turned around and finish a race. It goes like that. I had some really good races there. We were kind of talking about it, and being dominant and all that stuff. It really don't matter how dominant you are if you go on a run of bad luck. So you got to endure those when you race a lot. When you're racing 3 or 4 times a week, you just got to, just kind of say, well, hey, I got another race in a couple nights. We'll give it another shot. But running fast, but not finishing races, doing stupid stuff on my own. And, it's just racing.
Yeah, because it seemed like, man, last week at Kansas, you had an eventful night, Mike, it seemed like.
Where at again? Which race? We got a caution.
Yeah, that we do. Caution out on the Speedway. It looks like Scott Drost and Steve Ritter in this one. But last week at Kansas, it seemed like that 22 had quite a up and down race as well that sadly ended in a down note, right?
Yeah, I can't. I had such a bad week this week, I can't even remember what happened in Kansas. No.
Hey, that's the right mentality, though, for a racer. Put all the bad behind you, move on to the next one, and sounds like you're doing just that. Let's take a look at this incident. Let's get some drivers' perspectives here, see what happened. As oh man, we already come to kind of looks like drove sideways, and I'll let you guys take it from there.
Give me a minute to find it here, and you guys can start your analysis.
So what it looks like to me is Ritter's got the run on the bottom, and normally Drost would be driving to the outside wall here, but as the same as Ritter's getting the drive up off the corner, Drost just gets loose, and he's spinning out, coming down the track, and hooks Ritter into the wall. That's gonna be a tough one for Steve to
watch out, Steve.
That's just a guy. You're going by a guy, and he's having a bad moment when you're there. That's just wrong place, wrong time for Ritter.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that is. Here we go, busy down on pit road. Johnny Barker got that caution, but like you mentioned, Rob, a little bit later than he would like, we see everyone down on pit road here.
Yeah, I'm looking at
going on there too.
Looking to see where Johnny's going to be here. He's 11th, so
we had Ullman Hall in the 14 car take a separate kind of spin there while that was going on.
Yeah, it looked like Mason Hall there in the 14 got a little bit loose, trying to maybe avoid the wreck. And right, the classic with these cars, you load up that left side, this limited sidewall, traction brakes, and you're along for the ride heading right to the wall.
Leader choosing Highline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
About how
go
old
ahead,
Steve
Mike.
feels. I was going to say, I know about how old Steve feels right about now.
yeah, I think we both do there because I mean Steve was on the opposite side of the track, but it's a carbon copy, of us and Anthony.
Yeah, it was the same thing going on there. It's really slick coming up off the corners.
Yeah, an interesting call here. We did have one driver stay on out. That is a 7 machine of Tyler Humphrey. I assume here Humphrey probably going to get swallowed up pretty quickly by everyone on new tires.
I would think so, but I mean, who knows for sure? The speed really doesn't drop a lot. I just think you lose a lot of the ability to move around on the track. So that could be the main issue. It's not really the speed of the new tires. It's probably the ability to move your car around and pass somebody easier than when you're all just going single file.
Yeah, I think for 6-7 laps, Tyler will be okay here. Tires will cool down. These really, if you get to like 50% wear on these tires, it's more about heat. Once you get to that 50% wear mark, then the tire wear comes into play. But honestly, it's more about heat until you get to that point. And Tyler's tires will cool down here. He'll fire off good for, like we saw with Barker, 6-7 laps, and then those guys will slowly start to come in on him.
Yeah, you're probably right about that for sure.
Yeah, so
that's what saved me. That's what saved me Thursday night in the Elite Series. I had 26 lap older tires, but we ran 78 laps and got a caution. They cooled down, and then we only had to go 3 laps on a green-white checker. So temperature is what kills you with these tires.
Yeah, it does seem that way. As here we go, 4th restart of the night. Tyler Humphrey going to choose the outside lane. Maybe give Christopher Muse's teammate a little try and get a jump here on the field. As here we go, we head back to green flag racing. Most of the field, though, going to be 2 by 2 heading into 1.
Yeah, I feel that was a mistake on Tyler's part, picking the outside. I know he's trying to help his teammate there, but I would not give up the inside lane on the restart.
Yeah, and with that, they will stay dead even down the back straightaway. Josh Parker right there in the mix as well. As, yeah, I think from this point on, right, boys, it's pretty much go time. Save a little bit what you can, right? But if we don't get a caution, it's going to be every position matters.
It's go time.
Yep.
Yeah, as we see John Crosby take over the race lead. Josh Parker now able to get to the bottom of Tyler Humphrey, almost 3 wide there, as looks like now the 75 going to get to the outside of Muse. Here comes Jim Ott, a big move by the 4. Wow, Ott even put 2 on the apron, I think, there.
Yeah, the apron's super unstable. You do not want to touch it.
Yeah, definitely seems like the case. And I tell you what, boys, if you guys got a run or anything, let me know. We can send you on off. But if you guys are good to hang on out, it looks like we got maybe some more people ready to get in the booth as well.
Yeah, we got one guy that wasn't even in the race, right? I don't think Pogo was here tonight, but he's there. And why don't you bring Steve in? I'll bail out.
All right, sounds
good.
Rob.
I'll go hang out with my buddy Johnny.
Yeah, for sure. You give him a good call to the rest of the race. Before we let you go, Rob, though, anyone you got to thank here quick on the broadcast?
Yeah, I want to thank the drivers of this league. It's been a great race tonight. A lot cleaner than last week. Last week I was pretty hard. It was pretty brutally honest about what I thought. And this week I just want to say thank you to these guys. They listened. There's been a lot of respect out there, and I thank them. And man, we got something special going here between the 3 leagues of trucks and the Elite in this. So let's keep it up, and let's just have fun.
All righty, awesome stuff. Well, Rob, yeah, like you said, I think all 3 series looking very well. And thanks again, man, for jumping in the booth. Always great to get a little insight from the 21.
Yeah, I got one question for you. Did you recover from your hard hit Thursday night?
Yeah, I tell you what, they sewed me back together, and we're getting another car ready for next Thursday.
It's a good thing you don't have a 28 Newton meter or 30 Newton meter wheel. That would have been a hard hit, and those water barrels would have broke your wrist.
Oh, for sure. That was a big time hit. Sadly, I was on the brakes, and it still didn't really slow down the car. I think I still hit him doing about $140.
It took me one good hit like that. I realized that I'm going to turn this back to 14 from 28. So have a good night, guys.
Yeah, thanks again, Rob.
See you, Rob. Hey, we got my teammate Josh Parker up to the front here. Quite a battle going on.
Yeah, that you do. Josh Parker to the race lead, the 26 machine, after, being involved in an incident last week, able to rebound and, man, looking to already pick up his third checkered flag of the season. Oh, I think trouble for the 3 machine of Muse. He will go through the grass as well. We'll see what happened to Muse out in front. But yeah, Josh Parker, I mean, Mike, you can give us a little bit more insight, because I think, a lot of us kind of newer to him, did a few one-offs last season, but this season seems like he's in for the full thing. And I tell you what, Parker seems pretty quick behind the wheel of that 26 machine.
Yeah, Josh Parker's one of those guys like me who's been around here since the beta testing days and done about everything here on iRacing, NASCAR oval racing wise you can do. And he's been in Sim 500 since the beginning and racing with those guys before Sim 500 was on iRacing. And he's fast and he's pretty smooth. He likes to start in the back. And if he gets out front, he's going to be tough to beat for sure.
Yeah,
he's not really my teammate on Sim 500, but since he's racing over here, he's hanging out with us and having a good time, and been racing with Josh for a long time.
Yeah, I tell you what, I do like the take that he has of starting at the back. I could totally tell, giving up those qualifying laps to start in the back, but man, it is impressive to see what he can do, making his way up to the front and then taking over the race lead like he's doing here tonight. Now only 25 to go.
Yeah, he's pretty smooth and fast, and he'll just, all of a sudden, you're just kind of like, where did he come from? And sometimes he gets in some squabbles making his way to the front, but if he doesn't, he'll be contending for the win for sure. And he's on fresh tires now and has clean air, so not good for the rest of the guys at this point.
Yeah, it definitely does seem that way. And yeah, why don't we get some more people, I guess, in the booth, if that's all right with you, Mike. We'll first get Steve Ritter in here. So, Steve, tough night for you. After a good night a week ago at Kansas, you're able to walk away with a top 5. How you feeling after that one?
I felt good after Kansas. Not so good tonight, though, Brett. How you doing?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. And yeah, it seemed like, man, just a battle of adversity for you for getting that damage, trying to work your way back, and then off of turn number 2, like we saw earlier in the night, get collected, and that brings an early night to the 61.
Yeah, Scott messaged me. I think he just got loose and, couldn't save it. Now, I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But we were, I think, 7-8 laps down at that point, just trying to make up spots. I thought it was funny, though, when I came back out, after we got the damage fixed, I come back out, and I was 29th. And when Scott and I made contact there, I'd climbed back up to 22nd. So who knows what could have happened in the last 40 laps. But anyway.
Yeah, bummer to have it end like that, because that 61, showed some speed there, able to qualify on the front row as well. That was a good qualifying lap.
Yeah, we found some things, honestly, earlier this afternoon that we were missing, and the car kind of came back to life. So the on switch is a really good thing to hit when you're racing.
Yeah, it definitely does seem that way. As man, we still have more people trying to join in the booth here tonight. It's a party up here. We got Mike Kelly in here. Mike, do you got any questions for Steve here tonight?
How's your neck feel? That's the question I have for me and him. Is are we sore?
I got that. I got that new Hans device, so I'm doing all right now.
I'm about out of race cars in the Turn 1 Hero shop, so I have to call Steve up and borrow some cars from those guys.
Yeah, I'm kind of running out myself, to be honest with you.
To play pretend racing just for a moment. But yeah, Steve was running fast. We were both up there, and it just wasn't our night.
Yeah, that's definitely not the case. But, like I said, next week we head to Charlotte. Both very good for you guys, both you guys, when it comes to that racetrack. Steve, how you feeling about Charlotte next week?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a tough start. We got, one top 5 out of 4 races, or 5 races, whatever it is now. And it just seems like we can't get out of our own way. So hopefully we can turn it around in Charlotte. And the new things we found, I think, with the wheel and everything else will really help. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Steve, before we let you go, we're going to go hand over the mic to you real quick and have you thank who you got to thank here on the broadcast. And once again, man, we appreciate you jumping up in the booth and chatting with us.
Yeah, I got a new one for this season. Ritter's Frozen Custard is on the side of the car. On the corner,
nice.
They are no affiliation to me whatsoever, but they make great ice cream. And if you're ever in the Cincinnati area, stop in at one of their custard shops because they're awesome. Bone Dry for being on. Obviously, they were with us last season. But all you guys, the broadcast team, Brett, you doing all what you do for us, and just Rob and everything he puts into this league because he really does put a lot into this. And if you've never run a league, you'll have no idea what it's like. It's literally a job to do what he's doing. So, and he does it all for free. So I want to thank him a lot.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Steve, yeah, we look forward to seeing that new sponsor on the race car. And yeah, man, like I said, thanks again for jumping in here in the booth. And hopefully some better luck for you next week at Charlotte.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Brett. See you, Mike.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was Steve Ritter. Well, Mike, it looks like we still got some other drivers maybe wanted to get in here, so we might let you go get the insight from another two. So Mike, before we let you go, we first got to thank you for jumping in here, chatting with us, and now turn over the mic to have you thank who you got to thank here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me up. That's the main thing, to thank you for putting on these broadcasts and letting me come up and chat even when I have a crappy night and hang out with you guys and watch the broadcast. I was in there helping spot for Scott and Josh, so thought might as well come up and help you out and have some fun, join the party, have a beer. It's been a really good race. I mean, these guys have done a good job. Just a few moments of, just accidents happening. And thanks to all the drivers for coming out and running. And of course, ditto to what Steve said about Rob. It's a great thing to have places like this to race on iRacing above and beyond the official servers. And shout out to Josh. It looks like he's got a good race going, and the rest of the team, and shout out to the wife for letting me do this, and hope you have a good time with the rest of the broadcast.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. And yeah, it looks like Josh might not need too much spot in here, so we'll let you go and give your teammates a good send-off here to this one. Once again, Mike, we appreciate you jumping up here. Always a great time chatting with you.
Thanks. Hopefully it'll be on the podium next time I get to talk.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Charlotte, I know, is a good place for you, so hopefully we'll be talking to you there.
All right, see you on the track, man.
All righty, awesome stuff. That was Mike Kelly in the 22 machine done earlier in this one, and I tell you what, under 15 to go, a little bit shake up towards the front. Josh Parker, of course, continue to lead the way. John Crosby up to second, Tristan Penna in third, James Hislop fourth, and Johnny Barker rounding out the top five. And hey, look at this, folks. I found some drivers not in the race here tonight, but willing to come up in the booth. We got Jeff Pogo and Kenny Reel up here. Boys, what's up? It's great to hear from you. And can't believe I found you up here in the stands of Texas.
It's good to talk to you, Brett.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been a heck of a race out here at Texas. And Jeff, I assume, enjoying the show. What are your thoughts with now only 13 to go here tonight?
I'm glad I'm not there running.
Yeah, I could believe so. I mean, you mentioned earlier there that in the chat, hey, it looks like we're in the caution quota here without you even being here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had some bad luck here lately. I'm like, man, if Kyle's running out of talent, I'm definitely going to run out of talent.
Yeah, and that he did off of turn number 2, got loose, and then sent up the wall. And Jeff, you would have probably been right near those cars as well, right?
I probably would have been racing him. I probably would have been right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Either that or I'd have been back with Jim because I would have wrecked.
Yeah.
I would have been back with Jim because I probably would have wrecked the qualifying.
Yeah, exactly. We saw Jim, lose it there in qualifying, and yeah, it sounds. Of course, you had to miss tonight out there on the road or whatnot, but it seems like you might have something up your sleeve, something exciting for Thursday night to maybe be at the race, right?
I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm up in Chicago for work this week. I'm gonna try to go to the Sim Race Chicago room up here and use one of their motion rigs and log in and try to run the league race on their setup. So it might be a horrible showing because it'll be a rig that I'm not familiar with. Wheel settings will be off. I won't have Discord, none of that. and I'll obviously be in motion. So it might be a dumpster fire, but at least I'm going to try to make it.
Hey, even if it's a dumpster fire, you're still gonna have fun in motion rig. I mean, that's got to be pretty cool. Distracting, but cool, right?
It's definitely something different, because the last time I was up here, I went and did this, and I ran I went and ran some GT3 just because I wanted to see what motion was like there, and maybe realize what I normally do. And then I went and ran the truck series at Watkins Glen, so that was pretty fun. And then I went and ran a next gen at Dover, which I absolutely hated it because you could tell it was a concrete track. It would shake your brains out.
Oh, I could believe so. Yeah, Jim, one of your teammates. It seemed like it was a tough night for you and your teammates. Well, not you, I guess, Jeff, because you weren't out here, but the rest of your teammates. I mean, Tim Rogers hard in the wall. Brandon Garner, of course, almost rolled it on the front straightaway. And Jim, battling, it seems like all night with some sort of damage on that floor machine.
Yeah. It's just one of them nights. I mean, if I was there, I'd probably be either wrecked or battling something too. So who knows? It's just not a good night for Hoonigan Racing, and hopefully we can turn it around on Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully. I tell you what, I'm looking to that one. I mean, we of course got our race ended, on the same lap Thursday night, and big hits for both of us. And looks like I got to pay Hoonigan Racing, a little bit more to rebuild a new car, hopefully for this next Thursday.
Just glad they let you out of ICU. That was a nasty hit.
Yeah, I tell you what, they pieced me back together somehow, and at least here I can at least get behind the booth. I should be cleared for Thursday as well.
Let's hope I don't do it again.
Yeah, and I tell you what, late into this one, 5 to go now, Josh Parker out in front, and man, I tell you what, this would be an incredible start for the 26, as he's looking to win 3 of the first 4 races here to start season number 7.
Yeah, we'll just we'll give him the benefit of the doubt because the 97's not there, is why he's going to have so many wins.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we do get Kenny Real out here. Kenny, how you doing tonight?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
Man, we're doing pretty good. Kenny, I need to ask, I know a lot of people are wondering, when are we going to see you out there on Thursday night? Because I think I need to trade at least at some point a little bit of paint with the 11.
Oh, I completely forgot about the Michigan race the other night, or you would have seen me there. But we'll make an appearance at Pocono, hopefully.
Oh, sweet. We definitely would look forward to that, Kenny. And yeah, I tell you what, always looking forward to seeing the 11 car out there. As this time by, we get 3 to go. Things cooling on off. It looks like we might go green to the end after that kind of 4th restart here. And Josh Parker, man, setting sail, almost a 2-second advantage here. Though late in this one, looks like battle for 10th, though. Eli Raposa, Giovanni Espinoza here trying to knock off a top 10 late in this one.
Yeah, it looks like he got clean air and pretty much set sail on the field. It looks like he's really good in 1 and 2. That turn just invites you to overdrive it, and he's looking pretty good. And 3 and 4, everybody goes over that bump and gets loose. It looks like that will happen to Muse, and lost a lot of track position because of it. But yeah, he's got that clean air, and he's held on to it pretty good.
Yeah, that he has, and this time by here off of turn number 4, Josh Parker going to be the first car to see this white flag, and we will be racing around back to the checker. As Parker will get the white flag, and I tell you what, a lot of good runs for quite a few drivers here, and a couple bad breaks, of course, but man, this is going to probably shake up some standings here, even after week number 4, and it looks like Josh Parker going to go back to the top of the championship, as he will just have to go through 3 and 4 one final time. Off of turn number 4, the 26 will come, and it will be Josh Parker picking up the win here tonight at Texas for race number 4. John Crosby will bring it home second. Tristan Penna in third. James Hipsloff in fourth. And Johnny Barker rounding out the top 5. So don't go anywhere, folks. We, of course, got the post-race show after this one, chatting with our top 3 finishers. And, man, Race number 4 in the books next week. We, of course, head to Charlotte. That place always action-packed, but here tonight, Josh Parker getting ready to burn it on down on the front straightaway for career win number 3. Now, I don't know about your boys' availability, but you guys want to help assist with some post-race interviews here in just a few minutes, let's say?
I'm
I'm down.
for it.
I don't care.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. We'll keep you up here in the booth. But yeah, Josh Parker on the front straightaway, burning off those rear tires, whatever is left on that 26 is Parker. Gonna be fun to chat with here with this one. I'm sure he's gonna be pumped down up after a rebound last week at Kansas. Josh Parker returns to victory lane. And like I said, guys, don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back here with our Riptide Radio post-race show after a quick commercial break here tonight.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at Texas, getting ready to chat with our third place finisher, that being the 75 machine of Tristan Penna here in this one. So let's get that all set, get him here in the booth, and we'll get a word here with Tristan. Tristan, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
How you guys doing?
Oh man, we're doing pretty good out here, and I tell you what, a really solid effort. I believe first ever start with the 802 iRacing League, and I tell you what, for quite a bit there, it seemed like you were one of the cars here to beat here tonight, and that of course shows here with a P number 3 after 140 laps.
Yeah, it was. I had a great time racing. Everyone was racing hard but clean. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was not a crash fest. It was. I'm super excited to continue racing with you guys, and hopefully get a win here in the next one.
Yeah, after that first run, that 75 machine able to take the race lead. What'd you maybe need in the second half of the race? Because we didn't see you quite get out in front, let's say, but always kind of towards that front, especially that 7-car pack there.
Felt like I just needed I don't know, it was tough. The track was changing a lot. The top side had a lot less grip in the second run as more cars went on it, so the bottom became more became better, like how it was in the very beginning. But I mean, that's just that's just me not keeping up with the track. But it happens.
Yeah, especially this new Texas, they didn't, maybe iRacing didn't do a great job at promoting, the multi-groove racing, especially here in 1 and 2. But ever since the last update, I want to say about 13 weeks or so, it seems like this place pretty racy and pretty fun to race at. I know Texas on the low end of people's list, but here tonight, it seemed like it was still pretty challenging.
Oh no, it was really challenging. Especially trying not to overheat the rear tires and just try and make sure they don't slip or you're not sliding around at the end of the run. It was definitely really racy in the beginning half, but as the laps ticked down and as it got later in the race, it became more of like a single groove track. But I mean, you're gonna have that with these kind of race tracks. But it's my home track, so it's definitely a favorite for me. I know it might not be a favorite for most people, but I love it.
Yeah, and a great run at your home track, able to bring it home in third. And next week we head to Charlotte on the Sunday nights. How do you feel about that place, Tristan?
I feel pretty good. I like Charlotte a ton. I just ran there in a Gen 6 car league a little while ago. So I feel like hopefully I can translate a little bit to this newer Gen 7 car.
Yeah, these things definitely a little bit different here, and of course worked out pretty good for you tonight. First ever start up here on the podium. That's always great to see. And yeah, when it comes to these next gens, I mean, where do you think the trickiest part is? For me, it's always finding that limit, let's say, with these, low profile, skinny tires that are on these things.
Yeah, I think definitely I saw a lot of people struggle with exit. Um, I mean, entry you can drive it in there harder, but I mean, as the run goes on, you have to be careful with that as well because you'll just start pushing the fronts and overheating your tires, which you do not want to do in these cars because if you start sliding the rears or the fronts, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So just definitely tire preservation is definitely key with these cars.
Alrighty, well, one final question for me here, Tristan, for this one. I always like to ask, get a little insight about sim racers with their setup. So, what do you got these days for wheel pedals? What are you looking at? All that good stuff.
I have a Fanatec direct drive and just the Fanatec pedals to go along with it. So I mean, it's not too crazy, but it gets the job done.
Alrighty, well, great stuff here tonight, Tristan. Once again, congrats on the P number 3. A great run, like you said, for your home track here, bringing it home on the podium. So before we let you go, man, and celebrate this podium in this first start, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether it's sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out to on the broadcast here.
I want to thank my mom and dad for letting me do this because um, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and they do a ton.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Tristan. It was great chatting with you here tonight. You, my man, have a great rest of your weekend, and hopefully we'll catch you next Sunday night at Charlotte.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, awesome stuff there from our third place finisher. Let's head on up to our runner-up finisher, that being the 75 machine of John Crosby. John, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. How are you feeling after 140 laps here tonight at Texas, able to bring it home in second?
Pretty good. I could say I'm a little disappointed, but I hate this track and I feel like I'm not very good here. So, I could say I don't feel very good, but it's a win in my book.
Yeah, I mean, this 73 machine showed a lot of speed here tonight, and it seems like to start off the season, I don't know if you feel the same, having a lot of speed just haven't gotten the kind of the results really to show for here tonight. You definitely do that with a runner-up finish.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot of guys in this league that they're just great. So, if I can get the lead and get some clean air, I feel like I do all right. But I've been probably a top 10 car all season, and this is my first season here, so just trying to learn everybody, what they do, and just trying to be a little courteous and just not trying to ruffle any feathers.
Yeah, and I don't think you've done that whatsoever, John, here in these first kind of opening part of this season. And I tell you what, man, you and Tim Rogers put on a great battle for this race lead. And once Tim got loose, got the wall there, I'm sure you're hoping that race went green to the end because it seemed like you had a little bit of an advantage there, especially with that race lead, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I felt his pain because I couldn't stop getting loose. It didn't feel like the top line was getting very worn in. So I don't think I could run that very well. So just kind of sticking it out and being trying to be patient and not force the issue, but wanted to keep pressure on him. Um, so yeah, no, it was definitely challenging. I'll tell you that. So I feel for him.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a handful out here tonight. We also got Jeff Pogo and Kenny Real here in the booth. You boys got any questions to our runner-up finisher, John Crosby?
Yeah, I got a few here, John. It's Jeff Pogo here, driver of the 97. I don't think we've raced each other yet, but we're going to.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait.
How the car trend throughout the night? Like right out of the gate, was the car pretty neutral in traffic, and then did it trend free towards the end of the run? Or obviously I always say these cars suck because I hate the dirty air with them, and you
Yep,
can play the air
100%.
blocking game real bad. But
Right.
so when you're behind somebody, you obviously get pushy. But when you got out of their wake, was it trying to snap loose on you, or what was that like tonight?
Honestly, it was still pretty tight for me. I could never find a good rhythm to get this car balanced right. The first 10 laps on a run it felt really neutral, but a little tight. But after about 10 laps of running on the bottom, coming out of two, it just wanted to come around, and there's really nothing. You got to be so delicate with the throttle.
How was the bumps in 3 and 4? Could you feel them quite a bit? Would you have to wait to get over the bumps before you got back to the gas?
Well, I was running the very bottom on that white line, and I did kiss the apron a couple times, and once you kiss that apron, it is just hang on. You're
Yeah,
going for a ride. So the bumps never really, I never got up into 3 and 4 there, where that
yeah,
I think there's a big bump in the middle there. I never really got up there, so I couldn't really tell you about that, but just watch out for that apron.
yeah. It'll get you for sure. Was the exit of 4 an issue tonight at all for you?
A couple times, especially if you're trying to push a little bit, you're gonna be free. I couldn't. I was telling my teammates, I was like, man, it is either you're pushing tight and gonna wreck the car, or it's wrecking loose. So it's either you're hitting the wall or you're going for a spin.
Yeah, it seemed like the exit of 2 was the bigger problem tonight from what I saw on the broadcast.
Absolutely, yeah, and coming out of two, it's such 1 and 2 is such a big sweeping corner. So you had to be so patient, and I'm not a patient guy, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm not patient at all sometimes. And I want to get on the gas real soon, and I had to train myself through it, and I'm like, hey, let's not get on the gas too soon here.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm an aggressive driver, and I usually try to migrate towards the top anywhere I can and go where someone's not.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
I could speak for Kenny, who's in here too. Kenny's an aggressive racer too. So I would imagine if me and Kenny were there tonight, we probably would have been battling up front with you guys and hopefully trading a little paint but clean.
Absolutely.
So good run tonight. It's good to see you lead a couple laps.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much, and thanks for putting this on. And I'm looking forward to some more races, and hopefully get to talk to you guys again.
Yeah, I had a
Sounds
few questions for you too.
Cool.
How'd the car feel to you tonight, and the difference between dirty air and clean air? And I know the track temp was pretty low, so how do you think that felt with being a little bit probably on the tighter side on a long run, even though it was super gripped up, or compared to a hot track?
Honestly, on a long run for me, since coming off of two and just getting so loose, I was heating up my right rears really bad. So on a long run, it was getting pretty sketchy. Um, and I didn't mind it, as long as I could keep it under control. But if I can keep it under control, I'm not doing I'm not making good lap times. And I like to drive on the edge, but I can't really find the edge here in this car. So I'm just trying to figure it out. But clean air is king. It's the best. Dirty air, it did suck a few times. I just get so tight. And then, especially 1 and 2, I'd go down into the corner, try to go down low onto that white line, and I would just, if someone was in front of me running that same line, I'd just go straight right, and then get back on the gas and almost spin it out. So it was pretty tough.
Yeah, and like you said it perfectly. 1 and 2, it invites you to really overdrive. Since it's such a long corner, it invites you just to overdrive it. Now, were you guys out there? Were you downshifting tonight? Did that, being in dirty air, that heats up the tires as well, and then
Mhm.
uh, downshifting, which I'm sure you guys were probably doing out there, probably didn't help the cause either. Getting the rears a little bit hotter.
Right.
Is that what you guys were doing out there?
Yeah, I was downshifting. It just helped the car rotate in the middle. But it was just lighten up the right rears, so, or the rears. So yeah, it was pretty tough. I tried fifth, and not downshifting, and it just would not rotate. It was so tight. So definitely an odd track, but it was still fun.
Yeah, well, all in all, a good run for you. Nice little P2, especially for a track you don't like. So we go to you guys. I don't know where you guys go next week. So hopefully you can continue the momentum and go get you another P2, maybe a win here. I'm sure that'd feel a little bit better than coming home P2. So good luck next week.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again. Really do appreciate it, and hopefully we're talking to you again.
Yeah, for sure, John. Thanks for taking your time. Always great to hear from you. You have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you next week at Charlotte.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our runner-up finisher, John Crosby. What do we say? We head down now to Victory Lane and talk to the man of the hour. It is Josh Parker here in the 26 down in Victory Lane. Josh, how are we feeling after 140 laps here tonight at Texas?
Sweaty and I smell like gas, definitely.
Oh, I could believe so. Tonight, you had your work cut out for you, and I'm seeing a trend from you starting at the back of all these races. Kansas kind of caught you in the bad kind of scenario with starting at the back, but here tonight, you're down in Victory Lane now for the third time this season.
Yeah, I enjoy it because it allows me to kind of, I don't know, take my time and enjoy the race, see how it plays out. It ends up, obviously, I got lucky to where how the yellows fell and giving me track position, but I don't know. Every time I start up front, I just feel. I mean, I don't start in the back purposely most of the time, but I mean, obviously, time, yeah. But I just feel like I'm overly aggressive, trying to keep pace at the front early, and I burn my stuff up, and I don't know. So I enjoy kind of pacing myself, and these cars suck, so just finding a rhythm and having fun with it.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the game, and yeah, we have two other drivers up here in the booth, know a thing or two about winning here in the league. Kenny Reel and Jeff Pogo, both of them in the top 5 in all-time wins here in the league. And Josh, I tell you what, a hot streak to start, and I'm sure these drivers got some questions for you after this start as well.
Josh, it's Jeff Pogo here. First off, I'm going to tell you I agree with you. These cars suck. I absolutely hate the things, but you had a good run tonight. Drove from the back, so you're patient. So what was your plan coming through the field? Were you just biding your time, waiting for everyone else to burn their stuff up? Trying to obviously keep clean air on the front of the car to work your way up, or how were you? What was your game plan going from the back to the front?
Yeah, honestly, for some reason I'm good here. I don't know why. The track kind of weird. So I kind of knew if I just ran I'm a bottom feeder.
You're one of the very few that I ever talked to. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I like to keep the bottom, and usually with during the day, the top doesn't really come in, and people kind of tend to overdrive turn 1, burn their stuff up. So if I can keep the bottom, I can normally easily pass people and stay on the bottom. But so one of the very first times I run this new track at night, and the top side was pretty good, and it kind of threw me through a loop because had to push a little harder than I wanted to, so I ended up plateauing in like I don't know, like 10th place, and my advantage didn't really play out as much as I thought. So that threw a loop in there, and then I kind of had to learn how to drive turn one the way everyone else was because I was losing time towards the end.
Yeah. So let me pick your brain. You don't have to tell me your secrets if you don't want to. But as far as passing cars when you're in dirty air, you say you were wrapping the bottom. If you had someone in front of you, are you dialing a little bit of rear brake bias in it and trail braking in a little to keep the car planted to turn? Or are you just being patient on the throttle and waiting for it to rotate?
You know, I've been doing this since 2006. This is by far the un. In order to pass here, it has nothing to do with brake. Back in the day, yeah, your trail brake, plant the nose and go. The car's not even on the nose in this thing. It's on the back of it, right? So it's weird.
Yep.
But the key is to not even what I need to learn because I'm used to engine sound and adjusting my driving style, how the engine's pitching, but you don't have that. So wherever they're not, I tend to go. So if they leave a little bit of air on the bottom, I try to get that left front. If you can get any type of air, it doesn't matter if you overdrive the corner, underdrive the corner. As long as you have clean air, you can make the turn.
Yeah, I drive the same way as well. And I know last season at Pocono, which we're going to go there on Thursday in the Elite Series, but Rob called me the professor of dirty air at that race. And I'm not going to say I'm great at it, but that's one of the tools with this car that you can use to keep people from passing you. So were you doing that at all tonight, or were you just looking out the windshield the whole time?
Yeah, no, that was the plan, was to run the bottom because everyone naturally kind of runs the lane up, trying to arc it in, and I was just going to use a clean air to one, kind of have grip, and two, save the tire temp. But like I said, the top side came in, so it kind of made me had to get to the gas a little quicker, so it kind of defeated the purpose. But normally, yeah, and if you want a good tip at Pocono, like I said, back in the day, you used to want to use that apron 3 and 4. But this, for some reason, that 3 and 4 in Pocono is back into play. Like you want to, if you hit that, it's all gripped up, and that's the same with everywhere. The second you get on that paint, it feels like your temps drop 10 degrees. But you hit that apron, I mean, this car, there's no, you're overcorrect and wreck. So it's a fine line.
Yep, it is. Well, that's all the questions for me, man. I'll pass it back over to Kenny and Brett. Good run tonight. Congrats on the win.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I only got a few things for you, and I think everybody said it perfectly. I think we all agree this car isn't very fun to drive. But now I think I know you started in the back. I've done it before. Sometimes it's just learning the car. Sometimes it's just learning the limit of the car. Also, the limit in the dirty air that you can do. Just you can experiment early how hard you can push the tires. Is that kind of why you started in the back to be able to find the limit early on in the first run instead of later on, or what?
Yeah, I don't practice either. I tend to join the server, go and watch baseball, whatever's on, then hop on and run. So yes, a lot of it's kind of learning to set up the car, but uh, to compound what you said, I'm learning to set up the car and not overdriving because I'm behind people, if that makes sense. So like it makes
Right.
me have to slow down. So it tends to play out to where I am faster in the long run on the first run almost every time because I'm under driving so much, just trying to figure it out. But um, the downside is, like you say, we have a green run, we have a late restart. I have no idea how to hot lap, and it's tough with this car, especially when you're on new tires. You don't have tire gain in it, so that tends to burn to me. But if we go green like we just did, it pays off.
Right. So I got a question. I'll give you this last question. Do you think the only thing that would help this car, especially let's say like Texas, if we ran the 750 package, probably even more horsepower than that, and probably a hotter track temp, do you think that would have separated the field a little bit more from your more experienced drivers that know how to drive the car and save their equipment from the rest, or do you think it would have done vice versa?
I think just leave it the way it is. Everyone complains like it's the car we have now, right? They in real life they deal with the same exact thing. They're every week they're complaining. the track position kills the tires. So if the closest you are up front, even if you're 7th, it's better to be 7th than it is to be 20th. Like there's no more. So I don't. I think I'm over the hey, let's throw this stuff at it. Like in real life, everyone's telling NASCAR throw it. Just deal with it. It's a new type of racing. It's fun in a way. I get frustrated easily because I hate mirror driving, and that's all this is now. This one guy goes high, you go high, right? You got to air block him, so I can't stand that part of it. But it is what it is. Like we're not going backwards, so it's once you tend to accept that part, it's just a different type of. It's almost like chess. It's an actual more chess playing than you are back in the day.
All right, all right. Well, 3 wins to start your season off, so you're out to a little hot streak, nice momentum. Hopefully you can carry it in next week, and good win, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff and Kenny, for the great questions here. And yeah, Josh, once again, congrats on their 3rd win now already of the short season here. And Josh, before we let you go, celebrate, like I said, yet another win for you. We're going to go have you thank who you got to thank down here in Victory Lane at Texas, whether it be sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out. The floor is yours.
Yeah, Rob Lowell. I mean, he does a free league. You don't have the quality of a league that he has here, really, honestly, anywhere without paying $1. So thank him a ton, and Brandon, everyone who helps. Jeff, I think everybody. I don't really know the admins too well here, but everyone here, it's a fun league. I enjoy it. You doing the broadcasts, it's fun. You do a great job, and Mike Kelly and Scott been running with them for years, so it's always fun to run with them. And yeah, everyone runs it. Everyone here it's a good group. So
yeah, we appreciate you being part of this great group, Josh. And yeah, like I said, once again, congrats on the win here tonight. You go celebrate it, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Charlotte.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our winner, Josh Parker. Well, boys, we're towards the end of the show. Anything else you guys would like to add here late in this one as we wrap up here at Texas?
No, I don't really have anything to add, except I'd like to see Kenny out there with us. I know I've been kind of missing some races too, busy in the summer, but I'd like to see that 11 out there tearing up the track with the 97.
Yeah, I tell you what, I look forward to all 3 of us being out on the track, especially on a Thursday night, because that's the night that the old 71 can dust off the old racing gloves.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, I'll see you all Thursday, and then we can have our meeting on the track.
Alrighty, sounds good, as long as we can trade a little bit of paint, right, boys?
I'm telling you right now, stay away from me for a couple laps.
All right, boy. Well, I will see you on Thursday.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks again, Kenny and Jeff, for jumping in here, and we'll see you boys on Thursday. Thanks again.
See you, buddy.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was Kenny Reel in the 11 machine, and then Jeff Pogo in the 97 jumping in the booth with me to call the end of that one and get some post-race interviews. Always great to have him, and that's the good old camaraderie here of the league. Even drivers that can't make the show be there for the night still want to hang on out, be a part of the action, and just have a good time, and that's what we try to do. And I tell you what, I think we all had a good time here at Texas. I know I did, and hopefully you guys at home did as well. We got to thank each and every one of you tuning on in, whether live or replay. Also, all the chatter we got there in the broadcast booth. I mean, Mike Kelly, Rob Lowe, Steve Ritter, Jeff Pogo, Kenny Reel, all got to thank them, as well as the top 3 for chatting with me. So let's go through tonight's race results and see where things ended here for race number 4 at Texas. Josh Parker picks up now his 3rd career win, 3rd win on the season. John Crosby in the 73 machine will bring a home runner-up finish. First ever top 5 for John Crosby, so finally able to get a finish that he deserves. And Tristan Penna in the 75, first ever start, ends up on the podium. James Hisloff, a great run for him, up 17 positions from where he started to bring it home in 4th. And Johnny Barker able to rebound with a set of tires still over the wall to a top 5 finish. Nate Brooker able to drive that 00 up in his 6th. Grant Humphrey will finish 7th. Scott Simley in 8th, Giovanni Espinoza 9th, and Eli Raposa able to get a top 10 finish. Chris Muse came into tonight leading the points. Will come out of here probably second in points with 11th place finish. Frank Flores will bring it home 12th. Jim Ott in 13th. Tyler Humphrey in 14th. Arabia Caton in 15th. Tom Parent brings it home 16th. 17th going to Gary Wright. In 18th will be Matt Croak. 20th will be Scott Drost. Tyler Waltz in 21st. Michael Wolf will bring home 22nd, 23rd going to Tim Rogers, Mason Hall in 24th, Steve Ritter in 25th, Isaac Morales 26th, Brandon Hinton in 27th, Brandon Guerin in 28th, Sean Deal 29th, and Mike Kelly rounds out the top 30. 31st is Rob Lowell, Anthony Calatoni 32nd, Anthony Garland in 33rd, and Casey Gross will bring it home in 34th. So that'll do it here tonight from Texas. Like I said, everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you 1 week's time at Charlotte. You want to tune in and watch myself race with the rest or most of these guys, be sure to check out Freaky Fast Broadcasting on Thursday night. So that'll do it here for me tonight. Once again, got to thank all the drivers, all the admins for all the work they do behind the scenes, as well as the league sponsors, that being BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, Admin Box, Stone, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, as well as Rock Pirate RC. So, yeah, that'll do it here at Turn 3 Racing Network. Also partnered with Premier Setups. You can find out more by clicking the link in the description. That'll take you over there. And, yeah, whether you're looking for anything, they will probably have it here if it relates to iRacing. So, everyone, take care. We'll catch you in 1 week's time. And once again, I've been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.